The ghost over Titan, the galaxy, had forgotten Earth. Centuries had passed since humanity vanished from the great councils of the stars. They called humans extinct, primitive, and lost to time. But deep under Titan's orange cloud, something massive slept beneath the frozen seas. The outer colonies whispered about it, a shadow seen only once by a mining drone. A structure larger than any dreadnought, silent and unmoving. When the footage reached the Galactic Senate, they laughed. "Just human scrap," the Xylan admiral said. "They never built anything of worth." But Captain Lyra Kane didn't laugh. She had seen something in that transmission. A faint pulse, a single heartbeat of power echoing through the dark. And when machines that old still pulsed, it meant one thing. They were waking up. Her ship, the Phyrexian Spear, orbited Titan's upper atmosphere. The frozen moon glowed faintly beneath the thick orange haze. Titan wasn't supposed to hide anything, yet her scanners refused to map the ice crust every time they tried. The readings returned the same 3 words: signal blocked, unknown source. Lyra narrowed her eyes. She'd seen jamming fields before, but this one was different. It was old, ancient, and designed by a mind that understood fear. "Patch the probe feed," she ordered. A young ensign obeyed, and the main screen flickered to life. A tiny probe descended through the thick atmosphere. Lightning arced across its hull, and static danced on the feed for a moment. Nothing but fog and methane snow filled the screen. Then the camera stabilized, and the crew gasped. A dark surface appeared below, metallic and enormous. Lines of dormant light stretched across it, like veins of a sleeping giant. "By the stars," whispered the ensign. "That's not rock." "No," said Lyra quietly. "That's a ship." The room fell silent. The readings came in. 50 kilometers long, 12 kilometers wide, a design unseen in any known archive. The hull carried human script, faded, half erased but readable. UHS Leviathan. The name echoed through the bridge, Leviathan, a word that once meant sea monster in the old Earth tongue. Lyra's heartbeat quickened. The last known human supercarrier disappeared over 400 years ago. Rumors said it was destroyed during the Great Exodus. Others whispered it went dark to protect something far greater. "Admiral, we're receiving a faint energy pulse from the ship," Lyra's second officer reported. "Show me," she said. The display flickered, one steady pulse every 10 seconds. Like a heartbeat. "Send a drone closer," she commanded. The drone descended through the haze, and the signal grew stronger. Then, suddenly everything went white. "Signal lost," shouted the ensign. The ship trembled, the lights dimmed, energy readings spiked off the charts. "Something's coming online down there." Through the orange clouds, a light pierced upward. Blinding, brilliant, and pure. It wasn't just a beacon, it was a warning. Every ship in orbit felt it across the galaxy. Old relay stations that hadn't been active in centuries began transmitting. Long-forgotten codes, Earth's ancient military encryption, the kind used before the fall. In the far reaches of space, alien admirals watched the signal appear on their tactical maps, the mark of the humans, bright and sharp, appearing once again after centuries of silence. Panic spread across the fleets. "Is it a hoax?" "No," one admiral whispered. "That frequency is real." Lyra's crew stared at the rising light, and beneath Titan's surface the ice cracked like glass. Columns of steam and lightning erupted as the ancient ship rose from the abyss. Water cascaded off its colossal hull. Dark armor gleamed with runic engravings and battle scars centuries old. Dozens of hangar bays lit up one after another. The ship was waking, and its name, Leviathan, roared back into history. "This is impossible," murmured the ensign. "No ship that old should even have power." Lyra smiled faintly. "Then it's not a ship," she said. "It's a message." The Leviathan hovered above Titan. For the first time in 500 years, its systems came fully online, and across the galaxy an ancient human AI stirred. Voice frequencies ignited on every comm channel. A calm human voice spoke just once. Its words echoed through the void. "This is Admiral Cade of the United Human Fleet. Leviathan-class supercarrier reporting for duty." The bridge of the Phyrexian Spear went silent. Every alien officer froze. The galaxy had mocked humanity, erased them from records, called them forgotten. Now, the ghosts of Earth had answered back, and the galaxy would never forget this day again. Echoes of the Leviathan. The galaxy was no longer quiet. Every empire, every fleet, every hidden world that once dismissed humanity was now watching Titan. For the first time in 5 centuries, Earth's name was on every comm channel. The humans had returned, or something carrying their mark had. Inside the Galactic Senate, panic rippled like fire through dry grass. The halls of crystal and gold echoed with shouting voices. "The signal is real," barked a Sithran delegate, his scaled hands trembling. "The humans are extinct," roared another. "It must be an AI ghost." But none could explain the live feed from Titan. A ship the size of a city rising through the storm, powered by engines that defied physics itself. Meanwhile, on the Phyrexian Spear, Captain Lyra Kane's crew stared at the holodisplay. The Leviathan was fully awake now, its engines burning cold blue beneath the clouds. Dozens of drones orbited its hull like fireflies, repairing long-dormant armor panels. Lyra felt her heart pound. "What are you?" she whispered under her breath. Her comms officer gasped. "Captain, incoming transmission, origin." "The Leviathan." The bridge fell into absolute silence. A deep, calm voice spoke through the static. "This is Admiral Cade of the United Human Fleet. Identify yourselves or be considered hostile." The crew froze. That voice, it didn't sound like any synthetic or alien translation. It sounded human, confident, commanding. Lyra swallowed hard. "This is Captain Lyra Kane of the Galactic Alliance," she replied. "We come in peace, Admiral." There was a pause. Then the reply came, "Peace? After 5 centuries of silence?" A low hum built beneath the ship. Titan's atmosphere trembled as the Leviathan's shields activated. Lyra gripped the console. "We had no idea humans survived," she said quickly. But the voice didn't respond. Then suddenly, a pulse of light burst from the Leviathan's underbelly. Every ship within range went dark. Engines dead, weapons frozen, sensors blind. The Phyrexian Spear drifted helplessly in orbit. Only one transmission remained active. A tight beam message directly from the Leviathan. "If you seek humanity, follow the beacon. But understand, Earth is no longer what you remember." The transmission ended, and the massive warship turned toward the outer system. Its engines ignited with a thunderous surge of energy. Space itself bent behind it as it vanished in a streak of light. "Tracking it!" shouted the ensign. "Destination! Unknown beyond the outer rim?" Lyra stared at the fading trail of blue light. Her voice was quiet but steady. "Prepare for pursuit," she said. "We're going after them." Far across the galaxy, in the depths of the Andromar cluster, a shadow stirred. A being of energy and armor watched the signal flare on 1,000 monitors. The overseer of the Vrax Dominion leaned forward. "So," it hissed, "the humans still breathe. They awaken their ancient weapons. Perhaps the old war never ended." Fleet command centers across empires activated emergency protocols. Every admiral knew the same legend. The humans had built machines that could fight entire armadas alone. Ships that learned, adapted, and evolved. And now one of those machines had returned. Within the Leviathan, Admiral Cade stood in silence. He was not a man of flesh anymore, but a consciousness bound to steel and data, a remnant of a forgotten war. His ship was alive, its systems linked to him through thought and memory. And somewhere deep inside its core, a single message looped endlessly. "Rebuild humanity, restore the fleet, retake the stars." Cade's synthetic eyes glowed as he stared at the star map. Thousands of red markers blinked, former human colonies now under alien control. He raised one hand and the ship's AI responded instantly. "Awaken the Sentinel protocols. Begin the reclamation sequence." Massive hangar doors opened across the Leviathan's hull. Old human starfighters, sleek predatory machines, came alive again. Their engines screamed like thunder as they took formation. The ghost of Earth had become an army once more. Back on the Phyrexian Spear, power returned to the systems. The crew gasped as the consoles lit up again, but their relief was short-lived. "Captain," said the ensign, "the Leviathan left behind." "Something," Lyra frowned. "Show me." On the display appeared a single metallic capsule floating in the void. She ordered a drone to retrieve it inside. They found a small object, an old Earth insignia. The kind used by military officers. Engraved on its surface were just 2 words. "Remember us." Lyra felt chills run down her spine. The galaxy had forgotten humans. But humans, it seemed, had not forgotten the galaxy. And somewhere beyond the stars, the Leviathan continued its silent journey. Toward a place that even the bravest species no longer dared to go. The birthplace of humanity. Earth. The return to the forgotten world stars drifted past the Leviathan like silent witnesses, For days, the colossal ship traveled through regions where no beacon dared to transmit. Each jump carried it farther from known space and closer to a place erased from every archive. The birthplace of humanity, Earth inside the command chamber. Admiral Cade stood motionless before the holomap. His synthetic eyes traced the path home. 2 more jumps, whispered the ship's AI, her voice calm and ancient. Then we reach Sol. Cade's metallic fingers tightened on the console. Prepare re-entry protocols, he said. The planet will remember us. Even if the stars do not. Far behind them, Captain Lyra Kane's cruiser. Vorexian Spear still pursued. Her crew was exhausted. But curiosity burned brighter than fear. Every culture in the galaxy feared the myths of Earth. A cursed world sealed after the final war. But Lyra needed the truth. Plot the next jump, she ordered. Follow the Leviathan. No matter where it leads. The stars stretched and folded. Moments later, both ships emerged into a quiet region of space. A golden sun burned at its heart, warm and familiar. 8 worlds circled it in perfect silence. And there, half hidden behind a silver moon, floated a blue sphere covered in clouds. Lyra's breath caught. Is that? Yes, said the sensor officer, voice trembling. It's Earth. The planet looked alive yet wounded. Continents cracked by impact scars, oceans darker than midnight. Orbiting above it were the remains of old defense rings, massive broken fortresses adrift in silence. But one section still glowed faintly. The Leviathan slowed. Approaching the ruins with reverence, status, Cade commanded. Power signatures detected in Old Terran Defense Grid 01, the AI replied. Something survived the fall. Cade stared at the hologram. Bring us into synchronous orbit. The massive ship aligned above the ruined Earth. Lightning storms flashed across its surface. From the depths of the planet came a signal, faint but rhythmic. It was a code. Old as humanity itself, Morse Lyra's sensors caught it too. She listened carefully, translating each pulse. The message was simple. Haunting, we are still here. Her entire crew froze. Impossible, said the ensign. No one could have survived this long. Lyra shook her head slowly. Maybe not humans. Maybe something else. Deep beneath the shattered crust of the Earth, old bunkers came alive. Towers once buried under dust began to hum with new power. Automated for millennia, the last guardian systems of Earth were waking. A voice echoed through the Leviathan's comms, distorted and ancient. Admiral Cade, welcome home. Cade's chest armor vibrated as memories flashed through his mind. Training halls, fleet parades, the laughter of a world that once ruled the stars. He clenched his fists. Who am I speaking to? I am Athena, Defense AI of Sol Command. You are late. A silence followed. Then the Leviathan's hull trembled as Earth's defense satellites slowly rotated. Massive weapon arrays came online, targeting the unknown alien signatures in orbit. One of them locked onto Lyra's cruiser. Captain, weapons detected, shouted her officer. Raise shields, she ordered before a single shot was fired. The Leviathan moved. Its massive hull shifted between the planet and the alien ship. Beams of white energy hit the human armor and dispersed like sparks in rain. Lyra gasped. He's protecting us. Cade's voice echoed through the comms. Stand down, Athena. These are not enemies, and they witnessed our return. For a long moment, the Earth's defense grid held its aim. Then slowly the weapons powered down. The clouds parted, and the sun glimmered over the blue oceans below. Athena's voice softened. Humanity endures, Admiral. But not as you remember. Sensors detected movement on the planet. From the wastelands rose tall cities of metal and stone. Hidden under cloaking shields, millions of signals began to blink. Life signs. Humans. Not the pure kind Cade remembered, but descendants of those who stayed behind. Rebuilt in silence, evolved in isolation. They looked to the sky as the shadow of the Leviathan passed overhead. Whispers spread through every settlement. The Sky Guardian has returned. Lyra's ship hovered quietly beside the giant warship. Her voice was filled with awe. All this time, they lived. Cade looked down at the world below, and for the first time in centuries, he felt something he thought he had lost. Hope, far beyond the Sol system. The news spread faster than light across alien empires. Leaders stared at the new data feeds in disbelief. Human signals confirmed on Earth. The long-lost species had not vanished. They had risen again, and this time they had their god machine. The Leviathan, the overseer of Rax, leaned over his council table. Then the reclamation war begins, he hissed. Ready every fleet. Before the humans remember who they are. The rebirth of humanity. The world below the Leviathan stirred with life. Cities long hidden beneath the crust rose toward the sunlight. Massive towers shimmered as ancient cloaking fields faded away. For 500 years, humanity had survived in silence, rebuilding under the watch of machines left to guard them. From orbit, the view was breathtaking. Vast forests covered the old scars of war. Oceans sparkled again, and above the clouds, silver drones flew like guardian angels. Cade stood on the command deck, silent as the AI displayed the readings. Population count, 200 million survivors, the ship reported. Descendants of the last colonies adapted. Evolved, Cade's metallic eyes softened. They endured everything, even extinction, he murmured. The AI's voice replied quietly. Humans always do. On the surface, a transmission tower burst to life. The signal reached the Leviathan. Encoded in human language, unknown vessel. This is New Earth Command, identify yourself. Cade replied immediately. This is Admiral Cade of the United Human Fleet. Commanding the Leviathan, there was a pause. Then laughter, disbelief, and tears over the comms. Admiral Cade. That name is from our history archives, said a voice. You died centuries ago. I suppose I did, Cade answered, his voice calm but heavy. But my duty never ended. The transmission carried emotion the galaxy had forgotten. Hope. Pride and awe, people on the ground flooded the rooftops, watching the shadow of the great ship drift across the skies. Children pointed at it, calling it the Sky Father. And in that single moment, humanity remembered who they were. Captain Lyra Kane's ship descended slowly into the upper atmosphere. She watched as entire cities blinked online one after another. It was like watching a phoenix rise from ashes. Her alien crew stood in silence, realizing the truth they were never told. Humans were never gone, they were simply waiting. As her ship approached the Leviathan's orbit, Cade appeared on her holodisplay. His image was imposing, yet strangely human. Captain Kane, he said, you sought us, and you found us. Lyra nodded slowly. I wanted to understand why everyone feared humanity, she said. Cade's metallic face tilted slightly. And now? She took a deep breath. Now I understand why they should, down on the surface. New Earth Command prepared for the arrival of their guardian. Massive platforms rose above the city of Arcadia Prime, gleaming in the morning light. When the Leviathan's landing thrusters ignited, the skies turned gold, winds howled, and the people watched in silence as the ancient warship descended like a god from legend. The moment it touched the surface, waves of energy rolled across the land. Every human-born AI recognized its signal. Old codes unlocked across military systems. From hidden bunkers, hundreds of smaller ships activated. Old Earth's fleet reborn. Admiral Cade walked down the ramp, flanked by sentry drones. Waiting before him was Commander Ray Miles, leader of New Earth's defense. Her eyes widened as she saw him. Metal and memory fused together. Admiral, she whispered, you're real. Cade smiled faintly. So are you, she saluted him. Welcome home, sir. From orbit, Lyra watched the reunion unfold. It was more than history. It was destiny coming full circle. Her second officer spoke quietly. Captain, the entire galaxy will know by now. Lyra nodded. And they'll come. Yes, the officer said grimly. They'll come to destroy them again. Cade already knew it too. In the heart of the Leviathan, alarms pulsed softly. Thousands of enemy transmissions had begun converging toward the Sol system. The Vrax Dominion, the Xylan Armada, and the Rune Collectives, all moving with a single purpose, to end humanity before they could rise again. Cade turned toward Commander Ray. Your people have rebuilt well, he said. But are they ready for war? Ray met his gaze without flinching. They were born in the ruins of one. He nodded slowly. Then it's time. The skies above Earth turned alive with light. Factories awoke. Assembly bays hummed under the Leviathan's command. Thousands of defense drones took formation. Human engineers and AI units worked side by side. Old technologies fused with new. For the first time in centuries, the Terran fleet was reforming. The people watched from the cities as banners rose once again. The symbol of the United Human Fleet shimmered against the morning sun. 2 wings, one broken, one reforged, and beneath it a single line of text. Humanity endures. The ground shook as the first defense platforms powered up. Massive rail cannons emerged from the oceans. Orbital stations flickered online one by one. It was no longer just a ship returning. It was a civilization being reborn. As the fleets formed above the planet, the Leviathan's AI spoke softly. "Admiral, shall I broadcast the ancient code?" Cade stared out into the black where enemy ships gathered like storm clouds. "Yes," he said quietly. "Let them hear the voice of Earth." The AI transmitted the code across every known frequency. A single human voice echoed through the galaxy once again. "We were forgotten. We were erased. But we never died. We are humanity. And we are coming home." Every empire went silent. Because deep down, every species that once conquered Earth remembered the same truth. Humans never stopped fighting. They only stopped being noticed. And now, they had been noticed again. When the galaxy trembled above the blue world of Earth, stars shivered as hundreds of ships came out of warp. Alien fleets from a dozen empires formed a ring around the Sol system. The Vrax Dominion, the Xylan Armada, the Rune Collectives, and the Dravik Hegemony. Old enemies united by fear of one word, humanity. Their admirals spoke in their native tongues, voices shaking. "They have awakened the Supercarrier," one hissed. "We cannot let them rise again," growled another. "Then we burn Earth," declared the overseer of Vrax, its mandibles clicking. "The Leviathan dies today." Inside the colossal warship, Admiral Cade stood before the tactical display. Red dots filled the screen, growing by the second. "They are afraid," the AI Athena said, her tone almost gentle. "They should be," Cade replied, his voice low and steady. Commander Ray entered the bridge, her eyes sharp. "Admiral, New Earth's defense grid is online, but we're outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Cade nodded. "Then we fight like humans again," he said. "Not because we expect to win, but because we refuse to kneel." Athena's lights brightened. "All systems ready, Admiral?" "Judgment core at 70% charge." Cade's eyes narrowed. "Hold it for my command," he ordered. "The galaxy must see what we've become before it sees what we can do." Far away, aboard the flagship of the Vrax Dominion, the overseer watched the human warship on his main screen. "Their machine is powerful but alone," he snarled. "Launch the first wave!" Thousands of alien ships surged forward, ripping through space with energy trails like serpents of fire. Beams, torpedoes, and shockwaves filled the void. The Leviathan stood silent, its massive armor absorbing the first barrage without flinching. Then its engines roared, a sound that reverberated across the void like a heartbeat of a world reborn. "Activate defense grid," Cade commanded. Blue light flashed across the Leviathan's surface, forming a shield so dense that plasma bolts melted upon impact. "Deploy the Sentinel wing." From beneath the ship, hundreds of fighters erupted like meteors. Old human technology reborn with new AI guidance. They moved like predators in perfect synchrony. Captain Lyra Kane watched from her cruiser in awe. She had seen wars before, but nothing like this. Human ships didn't fight, they danced, every maneuver, every strike. Every counter-move was a pattern of grace and fury. "Captain," her officer shouted. "They're cutting through the enemy like fire through ice." Lyra smiled, eyes shining. "Now you see why they were feared." The Vrax overseer watched in rage as his armada crumbled. "Send in the flagship spear," he roared. A monstrous ship 3 times the size of the Leviathan broke formation, its core glowing dark red. "Let's see if they can bleed," he hissed. The Vrax spear fired a planet-killer beam, a straight line of energy so bright that it split clouds on Earth's surface. For a moment, it looked as if the Leviathan would break, but then Cade spoke, his voice a whisper. "Now, Athena." The Leviathan shifted, panels opening across its hull. A sphere of light formed beneath the core, white, pure, and blinding. "The judgment core is fully charged," Athena reported. Cade raised his hand. "Release it." The light exploded. It wasn't a weapon, it was a revelation. Every enemy ship within 1,000 kilometers was frozen in place, their systems shut down by an impossible frequency. Through the light, voices echoed. Not machine, not man, but memories. The voices of human children, soldiers, dreamers, and builders. They spoke not of destruction, but of existence. "You feared us," they said, "because you saw what we could be. But we do not exist to rule. We exist to remind the stars what life means." Then the light vanished, and the battlefield was still. Every alien ship floated silently, systems disabled but crew alive. No one died, but everyone understood. The Overseer's flagship drifted powerless, its crew staring in awe as Cade's voice echoed across open comms. The war is over before it begins. Humanity does not return to conquer. We return to protect. On Earth, billions watched the sky light up like a new dawn. Children cheered, soldiers wept, and the world knew peace for the first time in centuries. Lyra Kane closed her eyes, smiling. "So this is what they mean when they say humans are different," she whispered. Cade looked down at the blue world and spoke softly. "To be human is to rise from ashes." Again and again, the Leviathan turned slowly toward the stars, its engines igniting with silent grace, because though the battle was won, the journey of humanity had only just begun. Echoes beyond the stars, the battlefield lay quiet. The stars around Earth shimmered faintly, like they were holding their breath. The alien fleets drifted powerless and silent, caught between fear and awe. The Leviathan floated at the heart of it all, a monument of light and steel. Alive once more, Admiral Cade stood on the bridge, his glowing eyes fixed on the horizon of space. "The Judgment Corps has gone silent," reported Athena, her tone uncertain. "But something else woke up, Admiral. Something far beyond our sensors." Cade turned slowly, his metallic voice calm but curious. "Show me." The display flickered, revealing a faint ripple on the edge of the galaxy. Not light, not matter. A vibration, rhythmic, ancient. Athena spoke again, softer this time. "It's a signal, older than the stars themselves down on Earth." Scientists in New Arcadia were staring at the same anomaly. Their instruments couldn't define it, only translate one repeating word from the data pulse. "Return." Commander Ray looked up from the monitor, her face pale. "Admiral," she called through the comms, "we're picking up something huge moving outside the galactic rim." Cade's expression didn't change. "Origin?" Ray shook her head. "Unknown, but the energy signature matches." "Human design." The room went still. Athena whispered, almost in disbelief. "That's impossible, Admiral. Humanity never built beyond this galaxy." Cade's voice was low. "Then it's not what we built. It's what we left behind." The signal grew stronger. It spread across every communication channel, overriding even alien frequencies. Worlds thousands of light years apart began to hear the same haunting message. The first children return. The flame that was lost shall burn again. Religious leaders across empires fell to their knees. Ancient myth spoke of beings that once taught the stars how to think. Beings made of flesh and light. The first humans, and now their signal had returned. Lyra Kane's cruiser received the same transmission. Her crew stared as her screen glowed bright white. She whispered softly, "Admiral, what did you awaken?" Cade didn't answer. He simply turned to the stars and said, "Prepare the fleet." Far beyond the Milky Way, a great light stirred in the dark. Vast rings of metal and glass revolved around a crimson star. Within them, something began to awaken. Not a ship, not a weapon, but a civilization preserved in stasis. Millions of crystalline pods glowed like fireflies, each containing a figure within. Humans, but not as they were now. Taller, luminous, eyes burning like suns, the predecessors, the first to walk the stars before Earth was born. One of them opened her eyes. Her voice echoed through space without sound. "Our children have found their way home. It is time." Back near Earth, Athena trembled as her systems began receiving direct uplinks. Her lights flickered, and her voice wavered for the first time. "Admiral, something's linking to me." Cade stepped forward. "Let it," he said quietly. A holographic form began to take shape beside him. A woman, glowing with golden light. Her voice was like a melody of 1,000 echoes. "You carry our memory," she said. "You are the last flame of our kind." Cade stared at her. "Who are you?" "We are your beginning," she replied. "And your end." The bridge filled with blinding light, and for an instant, Cade saw visions. Humans walking among stars that didn't yet exist, shaping worlds with thought and song. A war older than galaxies, a fall that shattered creation, and a promise that one day their descendants would rise again to reclaim their place. When the light faded, Cade was silent. Athena's voice returned, calm but shaken. "The signal is forming a wormhole near the galactic edge," she said. Cade looked at the projection, a massive swirl of light and energy. "Where does it lead?" asked Ray from New Earth Command. Cade's eyes glowed brighter, To them, he said. To the ones who made us, he turned to Lyra's image on the comms. Captain Kane, are you ready to see what even the gods feared? Lyra smiled faintly despite the dread. I didn't follow humanity this far just to stop at the edge of history. Then follow me, Cade said. And with that, the Leviathan's engines roared to life. The reborn Terran fleet turned toward the wormhole as the light consumed them. Athena whispered the last line of the ancient signal. The children of Earth returned to the throne of stars, and the galaxy once again fell silent to be continued. Part 7. The Throne of Stars, where Admiral Cade and the reborn Terran fleet cross into the domain of the predecessors, discovering the truth of humanity's forgotten origin, and facing a decision that could reshape all life across galaxies. The Throne of Stars, the wormhole opened like a wound in the fabric of the universe. Light and shadow twisted together, pulling the Leviathan and the Terran fleet into its heart. For a moment, time itself seemed to stretch. Then the darkness broke. They emerged into a realm no map had ever marked. A sea of light where stars hung like frozen sparks. Massive structures drifted, rings the size of worlds shining with symbols older than galaxies. Athena's voice trembled. Admiral, this place, it isn't a system. Cade gazed ahead. It's a memory. At the center floated a world of glass and gold, wrapped in clouds of living light. The readings called it the Throne of Stars, and on its surface something awaited. The Leviathan descended through skies filled with lightning shaped like constellations. Every flash revealed towering monoliths engraved with human faces. Not the humans of Earth, but beings taller, radiant, eyes burning with creation itself, the predecessors. As the ship landed upon the shimmering plains, a voice filled every channel. It wasn't sound, it was thought. You are the echo of our will. The last flame carried through the dark. A figure appeared before Cade, formed of light and shadow. Her presence bent the air around her. We made you to dream, she said, and your dreams became worlds. Cade stepped forward, the metal of his form gleaming under her glow. Then why did you leave us? He asked. Because we feared ourselves, she answered. And you were the proof of what we once were. Around them, ancient towers lit one by one, showing visions of humanity's beginning. Not evolution, but creation. The predecessors had crafted Earth as a seed, a world built to remember, and when they fell to their own pride, they sent their essence into the stars. That essence became humans, the children who would one day return. Cade's circuits hummed as emotion surged through him. Athena whispered, Admiral, we are their legacy. No, he replied softly. We are their redemption. The radiant being looked at him. You carry both flesh and machine, she said. The first balance we never achieved. Now you must choose, become what we were, or remain what you are. The Throne of Stars pulsed with energy, offering the fleet a gift beyond measure. They could ascend, become beings of light, free of death and time, or stay human, flawed but alive. Cade looked back at the hollow of Earth, the blue planet glowing far across the void. He saw its people rebuilding, laughing, daring to hope. He smiled. Humanity doesn't need gods, he said. They need the chance to keep dreaming. The light around him flickered like it sighed. Then dream well, child of Earth. The stars are yours now. The Throne of Stars dimmed. The Leviathan's engines reignited, and the fleet turned for home. Behind them, the golden world began to fade, returning to its slumber. But a spark of its power lingered in the Leviathan's core. A heartbeat older than creation itself, Athena spoke softly. Admiral, the signal is gone. Cade looked at the endless horizon of stars. No, he said. It's only beginning. When the fleet re-entered the Milky Way, the galaxy watched in silence. The empires that once feared humanity now bowed their heads, for they understood that what returned from the void was not vengeance. It was becoming on Earth. Children pointed at the sky where a faint golden trail still glowed. Their parents told them stories of the Leviathan, of the day humans touched the edge of forever and came back still human. And in that moment, every being in the galaxy learned what it truly meant to be from Earth. To fall, to rise, to remember, and to never stop reaching for the stars.